Today, on the Big Dumb Face Trivia Podcast, we are going to cover General Nonsense, Superman, and 2000s movie comedies. It's episode 2. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Welcome back. I am Adam of Big Dumb Face Trivia, and it is great to be here for episode 2. I can't believe I've made it this far. Thanks for the support, the feedback, the chirps, and just for engaging me in discussion about the content from the first episode. I always welcome a good DM slide, especially when it's to talk about the number 69, movies from the 1990s, bands from the 2000s. We covered a few things last week, and we'll cover some more here with episode 2. Here's how things are going to work. I'm going to give you 3 sets of 5 questions each. They're going to be on a variety of topics. We'll mix things up every time. Of course, General Nonsense, you'll see that fairly regularly because I like to mix in those classic, old school, pub style, unthemed and unhinged sets of questions, just so we can keep things, keep things random. It's good to do that. I'll give you a few seconds to answer each question. I should learn how to talk before I start a podcast. And then we'll move to the next one. If you need a little bit more time, just hit pause. I asked each question twice last time. People seemed to say that was good, that they liked having that little bit of extra time to answer the question, to think about it. So I'm going to do that again. We're going to see how things go going forward. If you hate that, please let me know. If you hate anything during this podcast, please tell me and I'll try to fix it. If you like this podcast, rate and review. It'll really help. The themes, like I mentioned, this week we're going to talk about General Nonsense for 5 questions. We've got 5 Superman questions because I just can't help myself. And then we've got 5 questions about 2000s comedies, which is going to lead in seamlessly to this week's parting shots. So let's get started, everybody. 5 questions for you, 5 General Nonsense questions. I will give you a few seconds to answer each one. I still can't do it. Question number 1. What is Captain Crunch's full name? His name is derived from a Shakespeare character in Hamlet and a Portuguese explorer. So what is Captain Crunch's full name? His name is derived from a Shakespearean character in Hamlet and a Portuguese explorer. Question number 2. What is Sean Corey Carter's stage name? So number 2, what would you know Sean Corey Carter as better than his birth name? Question number 3. In which summer-themed movie would you find Wally World and the Queen Family Truckster? In which summer-themed movie would you find Wally World and the Queen Family Truckster? Question number 4. Made up predominantly of young men, adult fans of the animated television series My Little Pony are known as what? And if you are one of these, I just want you to know that you are always welcome here. Made up predominantly of young men, adult fans of the animated TV series My Little Pony are known as what? And then question number 5. This is maybe a bit of a math question, maybe a bit of a logic question. How many possible combinations are there on a 3-digit briefcase lock with the numbers 0 to 9? So how many possible combinations are there on a 3-digit briefcase lock with the numbers 0 through 9? All right, would you like to know the answers to those questions? Good, because I'm going to give them to you. Question number 1. Captain Crunch's full name is Horatio Magellan Crunch. Of course, Horatio from Hamlet, and then Magellan, the last name of the Portuguese explorer. Number 2, Sean Corey Carter is better known as Jay-Z, or as I like to say, because I'm Canadian and hilarious, Jay-Z. I like to get people fired up with stuff like that. Jay-Z, ZZ Top. Plenty of fun to be had with that letter. But Jay-Z is the answer to number 2. Number 3, you would find Wally World and the Queen Family Truckster in the classic 1983 movie National Lampoon's Vacation, the movie that started it all. Question number 4, made up predominantly of young men, adult fans of the animated TV series My Little Pony are known as bronies. Bronies. I myself am not a brony, but I respect their passion 100%. And question number 5, there are 1,000 possible combinations on the three-digit briefcase lock with the numbers 0 to 9. Of course, that would be 1 through 999 plus 000. So if you got all 5 of those right, you're doing great, and I'm very happy for you. The second round of Trivia This Podcast is about Superman. Questions 6 through 10 will be focused on the Man of Steel. I myself am a huge Superman fan. If you're listening to this episode at some point in the future, first of all, have the Leafs won the cup yet? And second of all, I'm recording this just after the 2025 movie Superman was released, so it feels like a prime opportunity to revisit some Superman trivia. I was a huge Superman fan as a child, still am now. I wore a Superman cape every day of my life until it was time to go to school. And my mother said, "Son, you're different enough. You don't need to wear a cape to school." She was right. My parents weren't always the best fashion advisors for me as a kid, but that was a smart move. Anyway, 5 questions here about Superman. Question number 6. Throughout the comic books, movies, TV shows, and other media, what material consistently blocks Superman's X-ray vision? So throughout the comic books, movies, TV shows, and other media, what material consistently blocks Superman's X-ray vision? Question number 7. The character Kara Zor-El is better known by which name? The Superman-related, Superman-adjacent character Kara Zor-El is better known by which name? Question number 8. The original Superman director for the first movie in 1978, part of the second movie, before drama hit, and then the subsequent 2006 director's cut, the Richard Donner cut. So Richard Donner also directed which 4 movie series that released between 1987 and 1998? So the original Superman director, Richard Donner, directed which 4 movie series that released between 1987 and 1998? Question number 9. Superman Lives is the title for a canceled 1990s Superman movie. It would have been directed by Tim Burton and starred whom as Superman? Superman Lives, the title for a canceled 1990s Superman movie, would have been directed by Tim Burton and starred whom in the titular role? Titular is a word, it's almost inappropriate, but it's not. I'm very immature. And question number 10. Annette O'Toole played Lana Lang in Superman 3. This is maybe a bit of a deep cut, but it's going to be fun. And then which other character close to Clark Kent in the TV show Smallville? So Annette O'Toole played Lana Lang in Superman 3, and then which other character close to Clark Kent in the TV show Smallville? There you go. You made it through another round. Nothing bad's happened to you yet. How are you doing? Like, how'd you do in the first 5? Did anybody get perfect scores? If you got a perfect score, you're doing amazingly well. I always say these are pass-fail, but it's pass-fail like big picture. So if you don't do well in one section, you can make it up in the other section. And here's the answers to the second section. Question number 6, Superman's X-ray vision is consistently blocked by lead. Lead is the answer to number 6. Number 7, Kara Zor-El is better known by the name Supergirl. If you want to watch one of the maybe worst movies of all time, but also kind of a fun movie with a weird connection to Popeye's fried chicken, you should watch the 1984 movie Supergirl. So Supergirl's the answer to number 7. Number 8, Richard Donner directed the Lethal Weapon movies from 1987 to 1998, at least one of which is a Christmas movie. We'll get to this when it's closer to the holidays, but if a movie features Christmas in any way, shape, or form, it counts as a Christmas movie. Question number 9, Superman Lives would have been directed by Tim Burton, and it would have starred, if you don't know this, you might be blown away, Nicolas Cage as Superman. Nicolas Cage was going to be Superman in that movie. And then question number 10, Annette O'Toole played Lana Lang in Superman 3, which isn't a great Superman movie, but like I was the right age for it as a small child because a lot of the humor is really childish. But anyway, she played Lana Lang in that one, and she played Martha Kent, Clark's adoptive mother in the TV show Smallville. So Martha Kent is the answer to number 10. And where are we at so far? Feeling good? Feeling medium? Feeling bad? just wishing this was a live event so you could give me the finger. It happens. It's real. We're going to move to the third round and talk about comedies from the 2000s. I've got 5 questions about amazing comedies from the decade of the 2000s. All you need to do is name the movie based on the clues I'm going to give you. So question number 11. In which 2003 movie would you find the quote, "You're my boy, Blue," during a performance of Kansas's classic Dust in the Wind? Which 2003 movie would you find the quote, "You're my boy, Blue," during a performance of Dust in the Wind? Question number 12. In which 2004 movie would you see a burrito-based dispute on the San Diego Coronado Bridge? In which 2004 movie would you see a burrito-based dispute? I think that's the first time I've ever typed those words or said them, on the San Diego Coronado Bridge. Number 13, which 2005 comedy starred Christopher Walken and Jane Seymour as married couple William and Kathleen Cleary? Which 2005 comedy starred Christopher Walken and Jane Seymour as married couple William and Kathleen Cleary? Number 14, in which 2006 movie would you find the von Wolfhausen Brewery and a bar called Schnitzengiggles? I gotta be careful saying that one or I'm going to get an explicit tag. In which 2006 movie would you find the von Wolfhausen Brewery and a bar called Schnitzengiggles? And then the last one of these questions, number 15, our final question for the day. In which 2006 movie was Starbucks presented as being something of a house of ill repute in addition to a coffee shop? In which 2006 movie was Starbucks presented as being something of a house of ill repute in addition to being a coffee shop? And that is it. We made it through today's trivia. Do you feel proud of yourself? Do you want to know the answers for the last 5? Let's get right to those. So number 11, "You're My Boy, Blue," of course, came during a performance of Dust in the Wind in the movie Old School. First thing, if you're around my age, that's not just a movie quote, that's part of your vocabulary. And also, I cannot hear Dust in the Wind without saying "You're My Boy, Blue." I'll even say it during events. Just can't help it, and I hope you're the same way. So Old School is the answer to number 11. Number 12, there was a burrito-based dispute on the San Diego Coronado Bridge in the movie Anchorman, which I don't even need to say anything. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. Number 13, the 2005 comedy that starred Christopher Walken and Jane Seymour as a married couple also starred Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson, and it's called Wedding Crashers. Speaking of quotes, there's a few in there. Rule number 76, no excuses, play like a champion. I hope I got that one right. Number 14, the 2006 movie you'd find the von Wolfhausen Brewery in a bar called Schnitzengiggles is the movie Beer Fest, which was from the Broken Lizard crew that also gave us Super Troopers, a couple of classics. Beer Fest took a little while to grow on me. I didn't love it right away, but eventually, it's right up there with Super Troopers for me. It's great. Not everything they've made is great, but they are hilarious, and those two are my top 2 favorites. And then number 15, the last one, the 2006 movie. I like to joke that it's a 2006 documentary because of the way the world's turning. Starbucks was something of a house of ill repute, bit of a brothel, in the movie Idiocracy, number 15. So Old School, Anchorman, Wedding Crashers, Beer Fest, and Idiocracy are the answers to the last ones. And that's it. That's all the trivia for today. So I say this is pass-fail. There's 15. So if you got 8 out of 15 or more, you've done great. If you got less than 8, you just need to try harder next time or bear with me until I eventually ask you some good questions. So, hey, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed putting those questions together. I enjoyed asking them of you, my virtual people that I pretend are in the room here with me in my home office, but I know you're not. It's something I got to get used to, honestly, putting a podcast together and talking in an empty room. I do a lot of virtual events, like a lot of online events, but in a lot of those, like there's, faces on the screen and that kind of thing looking back at me. I can see at least some reactions, or there's, at least a chat, or like people can text me or whatever to, provide some feedback. And that kind of gives me the feel of doing an in-person event. The in-person events are always, I think, going to be the most fun. although I love the online ones for a lot of different reasons. But doing a podcast, it's it's going to be a learning experience for a while. I appreciate you folks being here with me. And I just want to conclude today's episode with some parting shots. And today's parting shots, I want to tie this into the third round we did today, and I want to talk about movie comedies. This might just be me being an old man yelling at the clouds, because I do that these days, but I feel like we've lost something comedically in the last 10 years. There's just legitimately not a whole lot of funny movies that have been made since 2015. If you know of some great comedies from the last 10 years, let me know. I'm more than happy to check them out or revisit some that maybe I thought weren't funny when I first watched them. But I'm sure there's some things that I missed as well. So don't get too mad at me about this, but I think you're going to be hard pressed to find a whole lot. I talked to some buddies about this and they were kind of like, no, man, there's been so much good stuff. And then I said, okay, like what? And they couldn't find a whole lot. And they were like, actually, maybe you're onto something here. And I know that there's maybe a bit of a fear of being canceled or offending or whatever. And maybe studios are kind of shying away from making big comedies because of that. Like they're being extra cautious. I get that. But I hope that maybe the pendulum will swing a little bit and we can go back to pushing boundaries without offending or alienating. I'm not saying we need to go back to using slurs or anything like that. Like I know there's some stuff from those 5 movies we talked about just a couple minutes ago that hasn't aged well, and that, we're not going to go back to that kind of thing because that's just, we just don't do that stuff anymore. But, I think comedy needs to be able to be used as a societal lens to push boundaries, as a tool for social reflection, discourse, and in some cases, I think comedy can really impact some positive change. So, I hope we can get back to making some more funny movies. I realize that anytime you take a big swing at doing something important or successful, you're bound to upset a few folks along the way. But, I hope that maybe the movie studios can worry a little bit less about that and get our comedic edge back, but maybe with the more accepting social sensibilities. I'm really good at talking, that we have in the 2020s. I mean, mostly I just want to be able to go to the movies and laugh at nonsense sometimes. And I believe in us. We can do it. So that's all for today's Big Dumb Face Trivia podcast. I appreciate you being here for episode 2. If you haven't checked out episode 1 yet, go ahead and do so and let me know if I've gotten any better or worse. It's going to go in one direction or the other. I would love to hear from you. You can follow me on Instagram and slide into my DMs anytime at Big Dumb Face Trivia. You can find me on the web at bigdumbfacetrivia.com. Send me an email, adam@bigdumbfacetrivia.com. And of course, if you had a good time here, rate and review. It will help. Thanks for joining in the fun. Thanks for following along. This has been a lot of fun for me so far. Episode 3 will be here next week. And until then, I will say, see you next time.